One other thing about this women's race, I noticed there was only 5 finishers for Team USA, who, by the way, was 5th place, Australia 4th, I think Uganda was 3rd, Ethiopia 2nd, and Kenya 1st. And we do, I mean, compared to other countries, USATF normally sends full teams, junior, boys, girls, men and women. So we deserve credit for that, for always sending full teams to whatever championships we can go. But we didn't do it here. And I was like, why didn't they replace an alternate? I knew that McKenna Morley had pulled out with an injury. And then Weldon's like, I asked Weldon what was going on. He's like, you didn't check your emails? Not until this morning. We got an email. This is really a disgraceful story to me. And it proves what I've said all along. USATF, they don't really care about, they only care about the super elite pros. You know, Max Eagle takes credit for the medals we win. But they always forget that, like, it's someone's dream to represent the country. Someone like Weldon got to wear the vest twice in his life. Like, to go is really special. You can tell your kids you did it. So McKenna Morley pulls out. Susanna Sullivan would have been next in the line to go. This is an email from her coach, George. Susanna, anticipating that she'd be contacted by USATF, immediately checked with both the U.S. State Department and Australian Customs and Immigration that her visa for entry to Australia was still valid, and checked with airlines to find flights, and found some that could get her into Sydney by Friday morning. She and her people then contact USATF, and they say they will not be sending her to the trip. She was told, quote unquote, it was an internal decision, and was said they didn't have enough time to arrange travel. She explained to them that she didn't have enough time to arrange travel for her, even though she's already arranged her own travel, figured out a way to get there. And then another excuse they gave her was that they would not have time to get her kit. Presumably, almost all these women are wearing smalls, let's be honest.
I'm sure Susanna would have raced in any kit they had. I'm sure she would have raced in a men's singlet if it meant being able to run at World Cross.
So the end of this email ends. The end result is that USATF denied Susanna the opportunity to compete at World Cross Country. This coming from an organization that claims to be all about the athletes. She was motivated enough to be prepared to go on a moment's notice, and USATF wasn't motivated enough to try to get her there. And check this out, and didn't even give her the courtesy of a call to explain their decision. Shame on you, USATF. Shame on you.
It's sad because, like you said, Robert, this is a dream for many athletes. You never know how many opportunities you'll have to represent your country. And for Susanna, she was doing everything she could to represent the U.S. And it's sad that her federation wasn't doing the same. I will again give credit USATF for sending full teams. Very few countries send full squads in every single event to World Cross. So, I mean, this was almost a full squad. I do give them a lot of credit for that, but this is really sad, and I feel sorry for Susanna.
But Susanna's like this full-time school teacher, right, John, who went to Notre Dame and was no good and is now like a 225, 226 marathoner?
Yeah, she's one of the great stories in the sport.
The person at USATF, there's some names in this email, we leave them out. If they view their job as like, I'm making people's dreams reality, I'm helping people achieve a lifelong dream, they'd be like bending over left and right to make sure Susanna can go. They wouldn't care what kit she had. Oh my God, with this opportunity, it came up, go for it. You know, it's like you hear the story of like the janitor at the airport, and they're like, wow, it must be a tough job. And he's like, I help, make people's travel better. Like they get to see the world and like experience these things. Like, you can turn any job to such a different perspective. But like this one isn't that hard to do, my God.
All right, guys, let's move on to the men's senior race.